Hey everyone, it's Nate the Vinyl Guide, and I am here in Melbourne, Australia, here in the Fitzroy neighborhood, checking out some record shops, and I am here checking out home of the funk, Northside Records, very renowned vinyl shop here in Melbourne, specializing in all sorts of genres, but very heavy on the funk, soul, rap, and hip-hop. In fact, this record shop is often referred to as the soul of Melbourne, and you can see why if you just check out the selection they have here. Of course, they've got a lot of 45s, whole funk section here, Aussie funk, local funk, hip-hop, African up here on this end, and we just barely have gotten inside the shop. Here's some crates, some stuff that looks like it's on the cheaper end of things, some of the $5 records and whatnot. And then here's some of the new stock rock and punk. Again, I've flipped through some of these, and there's some really interesting stuff in here, and the prices here are quite good. However, what I think is really unique about this shop is a little bit further in the back. So we're going to go through the hip-hop, the electronic area, into the soul. We're going to get to this area here where you've got the jazz and the international music. Now, Northside imports records from all over the place. They don't just send away for them. They actually go out and do a lot of digging, and they've got a very interesting selection of African recordings. Now, we've had folks from this shop on a previous episode of the Vinyl Guide, and they talked about crate digging adventures in Africa. And so, for instance, you'll see a record like this, and the artwork on these is just spectacular. I love that. Now, of course, African records can be a bit rough in their condition. Storing them under the conditions in Africa are often quite difficult, but they actually go out and they bring some of this stuff back. And it's quite interesting. This is stuff you will probably be hard-pressed to find another copy of without actually leaving the continent. So let's go through some of these. I love the artwork on these things. Again, you'll see the seam splits and whatnot. The records are quite often less. Well, actually, that one's quite nice. A lot of these records are quite beat up, but you know, that's just kind of how things happen. Not always stored under the best conditions. Yeah. So that's quite an interesting rack here in the shop, but that's not all this shop does well. There's a lot of other genres, soul. They've got a lot of jazz here, and again, the pricing is quite good. There are some original Blue Notes in here I flipped through, and was quite stoked to see some of these at a reasonable price. So whenever you're in Melbourne, make sure you stop by Home of the Funk, Northside Records here in Fitzroy. For the Vinyl Guide, this is Nate. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, www.thevinylguide.com, and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/vinylguide, and of course, instagram.com/vinylguide. Until we talk next time, keep spinning. Cheers.